Brenden Escott here, the host of Crusaders TV, joined by two very special guests as we put a bow on the Crusaders regular season. And guys, one in which a record setter, 44-14-2 in the win column. And I just want to start off by getting your thoughts overall as to just how the year unfolded.
Well, where do we start? A lot of things had to fall into place for us to get to where we were at this year, and that's credit to Kyle on the GM side in terms of the recruiting and the trades that he was able to make. But for Jeff and I on the coaching side, we couldn't have asked for a better group of players. They're just so receptive. They show up to the rink ready to go every day. They want to work hard. They want to get better, and you could see with some of the guys' seasons that they had that. That rang true for most of them. So, for us, right from the drop of the puck, it looked like, that first weekend it was a little bumpy. And then from there, I don't know if anybody could have envisioned that we were going to go 44-14-2 to finish the year. And that you think about it, that's only losing, maybe 12 more games since game 2 of the year. So we're pretty proud of what we've been able to accomplish here, from the organization standpoint. And it's been a collective effort, all the way through. So, we couldn't have done it without all the help that we've had. So, we're just really happy, and we're ready to go for the playoffs now.
So, Jeff, I'll ask you this. There's been quite a few guys coming up and down from the WHL. A lot of trades have been made this year as well. In terms of you guys as coaches controlling the lineup, on a game-to-game basis and some of the shuffling you had to do, how did you find that this year? And how did you milk success out of it, if you will, and still get to where you're at?
Well, I think when you get to that point where you get guys, funneling in and out, coming from different leagues to, some guys were coming to play at home. We're, as coaching staff, we're not really sure how they're going to fit in. We hear they're good players on the outside, but they still have to fit into our group and what we're trying to accomplish here. So, I thought, for the Nick Bowmans, the Berlins, the Tyler Jetties, those guys coming back, they've done a fantastic job as far as, taking over the leadership role for us and showing the way for our younger guys and the guys who are 18, 19-year-olds. So we're really happy to have them, and I can see them already, the fire in their eyes, getting ready for the playoffs.
This season isn't possible without those young players contributing. I have spoken with Kyle Chase about this previously, and he said they've basically doubled what the expected points totals were over the course of the season. So maybe speak to obviously both Benning, Savoy, and then Gylander between the pipes, as well as a youngster who's contributed.
Oh, well, yeah, what can you say about those three guys? They've been so good. Carter right from the get-go up front, he was an immediate impact. And, really, we're so proud of him because I think a lot of people on the outside didn't think he could handle it as a 16-year-old, or maybe, said, he'll be good, but he won't have the year that he had, with the numbers that he put up. So, we're truly proud of him, and he's earned every bit of it. With how hard he works again in practice, and you can just see him in games. He doesn't shy away from anything. He's physical. He's heavy. He takes pucks to the net. It's impressive. Everything that he does, how he shoots the puck, how he scores his goals. He's a game changer. So, and then, maybe I'll let Jeff jump in on the Benning side, but Gylander, has been stellar in the pipes behind Burley. Burley has been a great role model for him, and like Jeff alluded to, in terms of the leadership side. And, Carter's only going to, get better going into, the playoff run and into next year. You always, obviously Burley's our guy, but, Carter's always got to be ready just in case. And, going into next year, we know Carter's going to be our guy, and he's looking forward to that. And for right now, he'll support Burley and be ready at all times.
So Michael Benning, a 16-year-old defenseman in this league who I think a lot of people would agree, likely could have been nominated for Defenseman of the Year, not just Rookie of the Year, but he's been that good, a point-per-game player. Jeff, you're somebody who in your own hockey career obviously made it to the national level with the World Junior program and that sort of thing, first-round draft pick. What do you see when you look at his game? I know it was a different era for you at that time, but any parallels that you can perhaps draw to some of the pro-level guys that you've skated alongside?
Well, I think for him coming from midget to jump to the junior A level or any junior level, it's impressive what he's done as far as the grind of the year, coming to the rink, facing men every night, and he's still a young kid. But we looked at him, obviously, same with him and Carter. Me and Adam would say they're like men out there. They're beyond their years. We don't look at them as 16-year-olds, but just the way they handle themselves, the way they laugh and joke in the room, they don't put pressure on themselves. They always have a smile, and it just seems like the game doesn't wear them out. They're ready to go. They're full of energy, and they get better as far as, in practice. They're always pushing, older guys and that. So as far as what he's done and the points he's put up, to do that at any level at such a young age, especially as a defenseman, is pretty remarkable.
So what does this mean for the program moving forward? Not only having this record-setting season, but a lot of young building blocks. So you look at the top 5 scorers on the team, and 2 of them are 16 years old, right? So in terms of a player wanting to come here, what does that do for you guys?
Well, I think it makes everybody's job easier, or well, we'd like to hope so anyways, in terms of what you just said. I mean, who wouldn't want to come play with Carter Savoy and Mike Benning and amongst the other, young guys that we have and veterans that we have for next year? That's the best part about having a great group, is that word gets around quickly of how we conduct things here and how the program has changed, and that's credit to the guys in that room. I mean, we can help guide them every day with teaching them and showing them the ropes, but I mean, after that they gotta take it from there, and whether it's from our older guys down to our young guys. I mean, like Jeff said, Carter and Mike have done a really good job as 16-year-olds pushing the pace with all the other guys and kind of setting the bars. So they're going to do that next year, and they're going to be in heavy leadership roles. So I mean, for everybody that wants to come play for the Sherwood Park Crusaders, I mean, the door's open, and we want it to be as competitive as possible for guys that want to come put on the white, green, and black. So hopefully that'll just continue for us, and we'll continue to recruit the best talent out there.
So this is year 3 at the helm for you guys, is that correct?
That's correct, yeah.
A couple guys that you would have had before then are guys like Will Zapernick, Jake Franchik, Garrett Clegg, all had very productive years of their own. And obviously, again, you're not in the place that you are without these guys. So where did you see some of the steps forward with them? Like, what part of Will Zapernick's game, for example, allowed him to really explode offensively this year versus last? Clegg, the same thing.
Well, just all the work they put in the offseason. I mean, Clegg, Zaps, Franny, again, we talk about the older guys with the leadership roles, and then you got the younger guys. They're right in the middle, and they're going to, they are big leaders for us right now, but they're going to carry that over as the older guys next year, per se. But it's all the work they put in the offseason. I mean, you see, even right now, guys could be, I don't want to say tired of being on the ice because they want to play already, but, Clegg's working on a shot out there. Zaps is working on a shot. Franny's working on face-offs. I mean, all those guys put in the time on the skill side, the detail side, their habits. They just do everything the right way. So I mean, it's not surprising for Jeff, myself, or Kyle to see the strides they've been that they have made. Pardon me. With Zaps jumping up to 28 goals, Franny doubling his point total, Clegg over doubling his point total to get to 70 points on the year. Like, all 3 of them have had fantastic years, and that's like I said, it's purely because of them. Like, they do a great job on and off the ice, so they deserve all the accolades, and hopefully they just continue to keep it going and go into the playoffs.
Now, we talked a little bit about the acquisitions. I want to turn to you, Jeff, and ask you about Reed Irwin, because he was not necessarily a throw-in to the deal for Zach Kaiser, but Zach Kaiser out of Lloydminster was the centerpiece of that, and he was the guy that, as I understand it, Kyle Chase was trying to acquire. You now have another player on the back end whose game complements Michael Benning's seamlessly, and he's now committed to the University of Denver along with his D partners. So just what has Reed Irwin's addition back on January 10th meant to your defensive core?
Well, I think when we were, obviously I think when Kyle was going into the trade deadline, he was talking to me and Adam about, Zach Kaiser. That was the big piece, which we are really happy to have, but we also needed that kind of depth defenseman, just, defensemen get banged up. And we watched a little video on Reed Irwin. We seen a few things, but we probably in all our minds didn't expect him to be this impactful or have this much impact on the game. And then obviously where he fits into our lineup right now and the way he's come along has just been unbelievable, playing with Mike Benning there. So him and Mike, I don't know how much. I don't think they ever spend any time in their own zone because they're so agile, they're so mobile that they can create plays, move pucks well. They think the game. They're always almost thinking ahead before they get the puck, what they're going to do with it, and that's what makes good defensemen at any level is making those clean plays, clean exits, getting to tier forwards, which creates offense. And you can see in his numbers and Michael Benning's numbers why they create so much offense from the backside for us. So.
You guys have finished first in the North Division, and in your tenure, it's been fifth place, fifth place, fifth place. Has the approach been a little bit different in terms of preparing for this playoffs, knowing that you're no longer the underdog? You're now kind of expected to go far here in the Interpipeline Cup. What's different this year for you from a planning standpoint?
Well, we had 2 weeks off. I guess that changes things. You're exactly right. Like, I mean, we haven't had a bye since 2002, 2003, right? So, I mean, it's been a long time coming for the organization and for us preparation wise. I mean, we had some fun with the guys last week. We did a 3-on-3 tournament. Some things that maybe you wouldn't normally have time for if you had to play the first round, let alone during the season because it's so jam packed. So it was nice to just, last week we did a lot of team building, that 3-on-3 tourney in which the coaches dressed and didn't do so well. I mean, I think we were 1-4-2, not so good. It looks like we're conditioning-wise, we're just we're not quite there. But again, when we got on the ice with them, you could see how good these guys are when you step on with them. Like, it ain't even close to our era. Like, skill-wise, how good they are playing stick-on puck and how they close time and space. And we were on the perimeter all game, so I mean, it was tough, but. But yeah, just having some fun, and then the last, probably 5 or 6 days, we've locked her down again, and tried to cover all of our bases to make sure that they just have refreshers on everything. And at this point of the year, it's basically about that, and just now it's just about getting down to it and playing.
And now you know who you're playing in round 2 of the playoffs here, and that is the Fort McMurray Oil Barons, a team that you guys beat in the season series 4-2, but at 3 overtime games, you guys come out on top of 2 of them. But obviously the styles, they play each other really well. It's tight, and it felt like playoff atmospheres, I think, probably most of the time that these two teams faced off this year. So what kind of challenges did they present to you guys coming up in this next round?
Well, I think when you look at their roster, very experienced group with a lot of experience, and just their depth throughout their lineup through goaltending, defense, forwards. They have guys who can make you pay. I think it's important for us as an organization, as a team, to get on them early. We use our home ice to our advantage, use this little break that we've had as far as, regaining energy, come out at them hard, and really try to take the game over early. But obviously, they're a great hockey team, and we're gonna have to be going every night in order to beat them, because it's gonna be, they're gonna have lots of people in the building here who, Fort Mac. Talking to Adam, he's been involved in the Fort Mac runs before, and he knows what it can be like. It's hard to win up there. We got to make it hard to win here, and I think that it's a recipe for a really tough series.
All right, guys, so we'll wrap it up with this. In terms of, you don't want to look too far down the road, but are you confident in the group right now with how it's assembled, how they've been performing, that you can make a serious shot at an appearance in the Interpipeline Cup finals?
Well, you would wrap it up with that. Well, thanks for putting us on the spot. We love that. Obviously, every team, as soon as the playoffs hit, they're all confident. They all want to go. They all think they have a chance to win, and that's no different for us. We feel that, again, Kyle's done a really good job at putting, the pieces of the puzzle together for Jeff and I, and now we just have to not sit back and coach them, but, let them play the game and let them have fun, and this is the best time of the year, right? So, but in terms of do we feel we got a shot? Absolutely, 100%. We're confident, and like Jeff said, the break's been good for us to re-energize and make sure that we're healthy going into the second round, and it's going to be a very tough challenge for us. So we know that, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
Well, I wish you guys both the best of luck. I look forward to seeing you around the rink, and I appreciate you taking the time to do this as well.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.